Live oak trees line the streets along Montrose Boulevard. You've seen them if you've ever driven down that way. But recently, a plan to improve a large section of the boulevard calls for the removal of some of those trees.
Yeah, and that doesn't sit well with many people. Then a tree was recently removed without notice, reigniting the fight to save them. TJ Parker is live in Montrose. TJ, what's going on where you're at?
Yeah, so we have a response from the city. We'll get to that in just a second, but I want to show you this tree that was recently removed by the city. This is the one we're talking about here. You can see the stump that's left behind. This is off of West Main Street in Montrose, here in the Montrose neighborhood. And people who live here say they didn't get any notice that this 100-plus-year-old tree was going to be taken down. We have learned that the removal isn't a part of the project that you had mentioned to make improvements to Montrose Boulevard. The city instead said there was some type of water leak beneath it, and something had to be done to fix that. People, though, who live in the complex nearby say there could have been other options to save the tree.
It was a surprise to me, but I wasn't that surprised that the bureaucracy couldn't communicate across the channels. And it's very disappointing to have the tree gone only because two parties weren't able to communicate with one another. It sure would be nice to have it back, but that's the part I'm struggling with. We'll never get it back. It's gone forever.
Wow. All right, TJ, so we understand that the city is saying that they had to do something about this water main break, but the whole point of them even fighting over this tree to begin with was because they said they had an improvement project. So are they continuing on with that improvement project? Does this help them out with that?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, this tree right here is not a part of the Montrose TIRS project. TIRS, by the way, if you're not familiar, is the tax increment reinvestment zone, that is. Had to look at my notes here. It is a big word, but Montrose TIRS is what it is known as. So basically what they're wanting to do is they're in charge of capital improvement projects here in the Montrose area. They were created by the city council back several years ago, but they're having to remove some of those trees along Montrose Boulevard to work on those projects. The project was designed to address drainage issues while improving mobility, safety, and really the overall beauty within the Montrose community. And with that, though, again, it could mean the removal of some of these historic trees. A group was formed called Save the Montrose Live Oaks to try and preserve as many of those trees, though, as possible.
Preservation needs to be the biggest thing, and I really am asking the forestry department to please put forth preservation ordinances in the city of Houston to preserve these trees and come up with better solutions.
Yeah, and better solutions than tearing a tree like this down. Again, this isn't part of that project, but it's just a reminder that this organization wants to preserve these historic trees. Many of these trees 100-plus years old, as I'd mentioned. I want to tell you about a study recently done by the Kinder Institute. There has been a 35% decrease in what's called a tree canopy coverage in the Montrose area since 2011. A lot of different neighborhoods are seeing the same thing. We have posted that information with those neighborhoods on our website, clicktohouston.com. Again, the organization that is working to preserve these trees continue to fight in City Hall. Guys?
Yeah, a lot going on there. And that is true. I mean, we're not great at preserving things, coming up with plans to just not tear things down, rip them out of the ground. Thanks so much, TJ.